There's some more Hearts of Iron. I don't know. I just felt like that was a suitably Australian way to start this. G'day, mate. How's it going? We're playing as Australia at the moment. It is 1942. And things are going alright. We were fighting in Norway. Norway is Norwegian. We were fighting in Greece. Greece is Greek. And now we're going to be fighting in Iran. Because for some reason they joined the Axis. And we need to punish that and make them see the light. We totally forgot about North Africa. They apparently got the Italian Ratzetabrook this time around, rather than the Aussies holding it. But yeah. Alright, that's enough of that. I do love the Australian accent though, it's awesome. But anyway, yes, so we did just win in Norway. We successfully held it. Pushed the Germans back to the sea after Barbarossa began. And now I think what we're going to do is move these guys over to Iran. I think that was the last thing that we did. We've still got the Greek front going on. They managed to hold Greece, being pushed right back to here. And we pushed them back to the little river choke point with mountains. And they haven't really been able to threaten us since. The other thing that we've done in increasing numbers is our Air Force. And in fact, between streams, I did notice we've actually got another 200 close air support that are available and ready for deployment somewhere. So I need to decide what exactly I want to do with them. Because I kind of feel like we probably have sufficient coverage over there. If we did want to send some troops after the Philippines, we could do that. Hong Kong still seems to be relatively secure. How dare you, the Ratzetabrook not have... How dare you not have the Ratzetabrook as part of the playthrough? How un-Australian. I know I failed on that one. But we had the Rats of Norway instead. Your slouch hat privileges are hereby revoked. I'm still angry. I haven't got my proper slouch hat. I'm still using this fake safari hat. I was trying to... I did between streams check on the customs thing. Because during my previous stream, I got a notification saying it was in customs, which usually in Sweden means you got to pay more money. But I haven't found any way of actually seeing if I owe them money or anything, which is very un-Swedish. Usually they're like, you owe me this, pay! So I think it's literally just in customs to be checked, and then it will be sent on. Because I'm fairly sure I paid for the customs when I ordered the thing. But yeah, it is apparently in Stockholm now. It's in Arlanda, which is the big airport. So maybe in the next day or two I'll get it. I mean, probably not on a Sunday, but by next week. So by the stream I do the week after that, yeah, I should have it, which will be nice. And then we need to think up some more Australian things to do. Not that there's a shortage of that. There's a lot of different things you can do with Australia in this game, which is quite nice. Anyway, destroyers. Yeah, we did send our destroyers over here, where they have actually been in a couple of battles. I did notice that this task force used to have 10 ships. It doesn't anymore. So there has been some conflict going on. And Eric Felt is gaining some more experience. We could also send Farnkum out to do some stuff, but I feel like that would be a bit too dangerous. The other thing is, Commonwealth Aircraft Corp has another upgrade, so we can do multi-purpose aircraft, which is exactly what we're doing. So air attack, ground attack, or we can do fighter specialization for air attack, agility and speed, or we can do close air support specialization for ground attack and air defense. And actually thinking about this, I might actually go for the close air support specialization. Because I don't think the enemy has much air power left. Yeah, maybe they do. Yeah, maybe they do. How much has Britain got? Okay, Britain's actually got quite a lot more. Plus the US has another 5k on top of that. So the Allies have got 12k-ish. Germany has got 5k. Italy's got 1.4. The Soviets don't have an air force. So I think that the Soviets are probably doing poorly. And the Allies can't reach any of the German air power. Unless they're fighting in Italy. There's a couple in Italy. But we're not really fighting in Italy. No, you know what? Let's go and put them in Iraq. close air support, and we'll have you ready to go after the Iranians once my troops have arrived. And then yes, I think I am going to go close air support specialization. Although that also has a ground attack +5, ground attack +5, ground attack +2, ground attack +5. So this one definitely gives you more. And our CAS so far has been quite effective. When I remembered to switch it to CAS. We just finished one of these. We do have the 2 years ahead of time thing for Logistics 4. And this is going to take 200 days. So yeah, that seems like a really good thing to get. Beautiful. Another one for Lysact. And we are in the process of researching helicopters. We're probably not going to use helicopter logistics, because I don't think that's going to work with the war carriers buff that we have. But evac helicopters and recon helicopters we can absolutely do. And the other thing I've forgotten is Yup-Tubs. Bear with me just a second. I started the stream earlier, but I've not yet enabled the chat. New. Content. Live. I don't know what's going on with the YouTube system. There is definitely something that's changed now, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Mute myself. Success! Haha! And then pop out chat. Here we go. Minimize you down to there. Move you up. Okay, so chat. Yup-Tubs, I can now see you. And then we can modify the government, but we are in the process of saving up for the 300 political power needed to gain freedom. So that we can then go down the inevitably independent path. Is that really what we want to do, though? I actually kind of think that maybe we want Pleading Britain, 7 million Britishers, and then Fight Die or Perish. That gives us the military factory and dockyard construction speed. It gives us another 5% division attack and defense on non-core. Whereas this path gives us less attack on non-core and more on core. I'm just not convinced that this is actually better for us. Except for these three, I guess. Would let us get Indonesia, resources from the Dutch East Indies, from Malaysia, and then New Zealand. Yeah. What faction influences do we have? We haven't actually got 2 influence points that we could spend. Faction rules, no. Faction research is enabled, and in fact, I can add my aerodynamics facility to this. I think that's a good idea. We could add another theatre. And we'll need to assign a general or an admiral to this, or a field marshal. I think it's gonna have to be... No, what we can do is promote a field marshal and then add them to that. So who should we make into a field marshal? Leslie Mooreshead would probably be the best option for that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's make Leslie the field marshal, then put him in charge of an entire theatre. So the current theatre here is North Africa. I think what we probably want to do is create a theatre down here in Siam and Burma. Which I'm going to add Dutch East Indies, British Raj, Burma. I'm already assigned to a theatre. No! Who else? New Zealand. Malaya. How many do I have left? Maybe UK or US. I kind of feel that they are going to be okay without having anything special. So let's go ahead and do that. So we've established the Australian theatre, which is currently going to be in Siam. So that should give them some benefits. Particularly to supply, which I think is going to be really helpful for them. Davidius wants me to drink some tea. You know what? Now would be a good opportunity to take the tea bag out of the tea and then drink some. Haha! Leslie also makes the most sense to be a field marshal. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, we have one, which is Blaney. You start with him as a field marshal, and then Moorshead would be a very good choice. Hey, my happy face. Cool. Onwards. I'm a little annoyed I can't add myself to that, though. I guess this is only going to be until this theatre is cleared up. You guys have just have such bad supply, though. But I might be in a good position to help with this. Because I have logistics. I have really good logistics support. And the other thing I can do is get the established training camps and then make myself better in deserts. Yes, we have options. We have options. Doctrines, heavy aircraft I don't really care about. Submarines I should probably do something with. Wolf packs is just the obvious choice for those. And then carriers, seeing as we are actually going to be able to get a fair number of carriers, I think. We did see another carrier focus, because we've got the HMAS Sydney, but then it's also possible to get the Melbourne. Somewhere. I don't remember where that was, though. Was it here? No. No, I don't remember where the Melbourne was. There's a... Oh, it was here. Yeah, the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm thinking that 7 million Britishers is the way to go. Because then we get the extra division attack on core and defense on non-core. And we also get a carrier. But New Zealand. New technology. So this was, I think, probably the Bren Mark III. If I'm going to be fighting in Southeast Asia, which seems likely, getting jungle troops is probably a good move. Alternatively, Marines. I kind of want to try to do some more naval invasions and things, so Marines might well be a good option. The other thing I was seriously considering is mechanizing. We have the industrial capacity for it, and it would mean we suffer far fewer casualties. You know what? Let's do that. Let's just mechanize our army. I think that's a better move. Nope, you're trying to do a naval invasion. I mean, you are definitely doing a lot of damage to the guy. Do I want to send you to the desert? I don't know, mate. I don't know. I mean, one thing I can do, actually, is give you a bunch of aircraft. You know what? The Iranian Air Force. Let's send... Yeah, because it looks like you really need some support, actually. Just stick you right next door. We have Cass joining the fight now, slowly but surely. A little bit too late for that group. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to send these to Benghazi. And we're going to see if we can push the Italians out of North Africa, so then the Allies can focus on things like, I don't know, Sicily. Yeah, nah, yeah. Air Force would really have a pigeon shoot in Tobruk. Yeah, you're not wrong. Probably even deploy another one. There's excavation 1. We were going to try to work through the different excavation techs. The other thing which I'm somewhat tempted to do is get armoured cars so we can get armoured car recon. But we do also have the... No, we have helicopter recon. We don't need armoured cars. Let's get the boys anti-tank rifle. And what this? Because... Oh, right. Yeah, Department of Supply and Development would be a good one for us to get. Let's get some more soft attack for our artillery. Did we ever add the second artillery piece? We did. How much would it be to add a third? Pretty much. And you are not currently producing anything because, wow, we have some resource shortages. Probably because some of the resources I'm trying to bring in are being intercepted. Dutch East Indies is probably the safest. Malaya is either going to be very safe or very dangerous. I don't want to buy from Vichy France. That seems like a bad idea. We'll buy more from Britain. And then more steel from America. Steel supplies are starting to get a bit low. Aluminium is already very low. Norway should actually be quite safe. Let's do that. Okay, military factories. We have some availability now. We could double down on the aircraft. I'm going to short-term make some trucks, so I don't need to keep on purchasing those. Because we're actually going to need those here, so we can motorize all of our units. I think that would be quite nice. Government aircraft factories are done. So this is the other Australian producer. But that does mean that we have now finished government aircraft factories. So we could get the Department of Aircraft Production, which just gets us a bunch of production on different things. Although actually I'm not producing fighters, I'm producing gas. So less useful. The other one was the Department of Supply and Development, which gives us Lithgow Arms and Vickers Revolt upgrades. Which I think would be a really good... No, we wanted the desert training camps. As in the Great War, the Second Imperial Force may be called upon to fight anywhere in the world. We must therefore develop comprehensive training programs to prepare our soldiers for any environment, from the deserts of North Africa to the jungles of the South Pacific. This also gives us access to the jungle heavy tanks. You need the mining boom to start 40 years earlier than history. Yeah, unfortunately, we did not go down the economic path, otherwise we could start the mining boom. Because we can begin excavating Pilbara with within reach and economic recovery, but we went lang plan. No such luck. But there are a couple of things that we could expand, like the Port Kemmler blast furnace, Iron Knob mine. But those cost political power, and I'm really trying to save political power at the moment, because I don't get a lot of it. Go. Eek, you almost got sunk. Oh. Let's get the coast of Sardinia. Okay. Well, how about we just try and launch an attack? We'll lose a little bit of organization on the way over. We may lose supplies on the way over too. But while we arrive, we should have lots of org for the initial impact. And my hope is that we bring in an air force to fight you. And then it's the air force that does the damage. But right now, you don't seem to be doing squat. even though the airfield is right next door. Oh, they actually pushed out. That's not ideal. Oh, this guy has now arrived as well. Good-o. So, supply is now run out. I am going to... How many trucks do we have? 0. Well, if you get some planning prep... Oh, there's a naval invasion going on. We really want to support that. Let's see if we can. Still no Air Force. This is going to be a really tough nut to crack, simply by just the sheer number of troops that they have here. I could do extra supplies for the supply grace. That helps. So long as I keep this ticking over, we're going to have supply. So I'm just going to let some organization return and then launch another attack. Or not. Still no Air Force. Guess it's because of the mountains reducing the number of planes that can actually join the battle. But I think we are taking way more casualties here than they are. I think that our time here is wasted. I think we should probably go over to the Iran front. Though we're still not at war with Iran. Somehow. No, they are only at war with the Soviets, despite being in the Axis. Mort's Dock. We can get the sub-detection and depth. Sure, we've got that one already. Max speed, then. It looks like that little exodus has been mostly cleared up. We do more damage to them than they are to us. The lack of air coverage is really frustrating. You guys are doing nothing. You're well within range. Putin's ill again. Damn it! Ah, so you did end up adding the Melbourne too. Hope your one doesn't run into the other. I think Punchrular added the Melbourne, actually. I didn't realise until I started playing today. I was, oh, it's there. Cool. Did I assign them to CAS or air superiority? CAS. See, close air support. Currently active CAS planes, Dominion of Australia. Oh, you know what? I think I might know why. I think they may not have supply. I think that was exactly the reason. Yes, it was. Haha! Problem solved. Well, let's launch another attack with you lot. And let's bring in the Air Force. Sandstorm. God damn it! Don't think the planes fly when there's a sandstorm. Meanwhile, we do have another expeditionary force in preparation here. let's just have you lot training up. Who's your commander going to be? Robertson? No, Stanley Savage. Yep, Savage, definitely. And I want you deployed. And then I want you training as well. Okay, focus. Anti-malaria campaign. Heat attrition reduction. Unlocks an improved version of extra supplies, which we were just using. Heat attrition, division attrition reduction, supply grace. Oh, that's a massive upgrade. Let's do the anti-malaria campaign. Oh, they're counter-attacking. That's not going to be comfortable for you. American light tank naval invasion apparently going on at the moment. These are too far ahead of time still. That's not. Get bigger artillery. And safety concerns. So extra reliability, speed, fuel usage and production cost, or armor defense breakthrough, massive increase to fuel usage. I think I'm just going to go with the reliability, to be honest. It's totally fine for me. Sandstorm is still going on. I'm going to wait until the weather clears up. Big naval invasion going on. Ground bombing targeting minus 100%. Yeah, sandstorms are very bad for that type of thing. Run carrier. Nice. Let's get the universal carrier. And we want to start upgrading our mechanized. So we can do production cost and defense, or we can increase their armor. I don't really care about the unit cost. Again, our industry is pretty decent. No more sandstorm. So let's try and bring in the planes. There we go, now we're doing a bit of damage. There we go! Did I say stop? We are really doing negligible damage here. That, however, is doing a ton of damage. So Brooke's looking really weak. So maybe what I should do is adjust my plan and go naval instead. Wow, okay, I'm really short on a lot of the different things. So let's reduce the amount of planes we're producing, because I feel like I've got too many of them as it is. We're going to start producing Bren carriers. Get like 5 of those. And then we need guns, artillery, trucks, support. Guns in particular, though. And trucks we have 5 factories on already. And now we need even more steel. Ah, now we don't need to buy so much aluminium. So who are we not getting it from? Netherlands. UK. We can turn off entirely. USA we can turn off. Rubber. Stop buying from Malaya. Steel, however, we will buy from Sweden. That'll do. I really do need to get some of my steel production going. Alright, so planning the naval invasion. We have 6 divisions coming here. It's going to use a couple of our transports. That's fine. And Tobruk is definitely the least defended. If I take Tobruk and then hold it against the counterattack, I think we're in a really good spot. We just need to hold it. I thought this was historical, wasn't it supposed to be the Aussies holding out in Tobruk? Ah! But to hold it, you must first own it. Well, you guys are actually making some pretty good progress. Need some closer air bases, though. Are you struggling? Oh, yeah, they have an air force. We can bring in another wing. And then I should probably also specialize in desert combat. Infantry movement and attack in desert. Not nearly as good as the special forces, but that will do. And then you can switch. So you can switch between desert and jungle as you need. You can have either of them active. I was quite pleased with that script. What was I saying? Right, I'm going to need to research some naval invasion techs, I think. No! Don't move troops in! Political power away from freedom! Can you rescue captured army commanders with spy agency, or how does that work? You can, and I probably should, because they've still got Ivan McKay over in Hamburg. Oh, Sicily. It may cause you to pull some troops back. Or it may not. So we've got enough trucks and support equipment now, it's just the artillery and infantry equipment that we need. So how about we do this? Need more steel. We'll get it from the UC. And we can also upgrade Lysac. Let's get the industrial organization research speed. This naval invasion is very nearly done. I just hope that this isn't along the first wave. In fact, I think I'm just going to straight up say, don't join that attack. No, I don't think you're in it anyway. It's fine. Yeah, you two are not in it. United States declared war on Vichy, France. Interesting. So I could turn around and join the campaign over on that side. How's Greece doing? Greece is looking quite strong. I'm wondering if I want to move you down here. Because the Greeks are quite good at defending, so you know what? Let's give that a try. Not my fault if Greece then loses. I did my bit. We're switching entirely to the North Africa campaign. Meanwhile, technology. For which I would like to have more excavation. Because those are becoming increasingly important. There's the anti-malaria campaign. Next up. What do I want? Manpower Directorate, get more production going. Or should I go for Within Reach? I think I should probably eventually actually go for Within Reach. We have lacked proper connections to our northern territories for too long. As part of a broader program of public works aimed at directing money into the economy, we can construct a railway linking our southern cities to the north. Now, I know that that connection didn't actually get finished until a couple of years ago, I think. They made it to Alice Springs. Unfortunately, the railway to Darwin is going to be added as part of that focus, because Alice Springs isn't actually a supply hub. You can't connect to no supply hub. And this Alice Springs supply hub is added down here. Two different focuses. You guys are moving. You, I think, are ready for the actual naval invasion. Nope. Oh, tomorrow. Iran joined the German Reich as our ally. I think you're trying to tell me that we're now at war with Iran. Always have been. Yes, we are. Wait. Oh. Now I am. Here comes the naval invasion. Let's go. Let's see how the Aussies do at sea. Potentially quite well. We do have very high, well, relatively high organisation units. And we have a lot of air support. Which is really what's doing the damage here, I think. No, stay, stay, stay! What are you... No, stay! Ah! Pop those hats. And these guys are completely out of supply. Oh, this was a genius move! So apparently, yes, the Australians can indeed do naval invasions. Now that we hold Tobruk, we have the supply. Pop, 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 pop! There we go. Tobruk rats. We earned our name! We're rats because we flipped the sinking ship on the way in. Alright, let's go and fight Iran. And as soon as you arrive, you can attack. You guys, honestly, just attack. You're here now. Sweet! Cool, 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 cool. Don't know that we'll need aircraft for the attack on Iran. They're there if they need them, though. I could also do with fuel refining technologies, actually. That would seem to be a supply hub, although it is not connected. It is to our supply network, but that is something I can fix once we've taken that province. Standard gauge link to Darwin. Okay, let's go and grab within reach. So close, and yet so far. Australia is a highly resource-rich nation, and if we dig just a little bit deeper, untold wealth lies just beneath our feet. With the expansion of our infrastructure, even remote mines may become accessible. We can stand on the verge of an era of mineral wealth-driven Australian prosperity. That didn't read right. Stand on the verge of an era of mineral wealth-driven Australian prosperity. There we go. There we go. Right, I want a railway. That goes from there all the way to there. And what's more, I want that done now. And then once that's done, I think I'm going to want some more military factories, quite honestly. Hungary proclaims Greater Hungary. Actually, it kind of looks like you might be able to do with some air power. Let's do this, this, go there. I mean, if it can take Sfax, that would certainly help matters. still all the way back there because supply here is so bad. We can add Sfax to our burgeoning railway, so it's not all just being fed by Tunis. As long as that doesn't get protected. Tier 3 guns! Nice! Let's go and get those made. And then I think that this is honestly going to be Tier 4 excavation. Let's go! Ooh, that's a big old counter attack. Let's... here. Air forces have to come a long way, but they are actually in range. And they are making their presence felt. Meanwhile, we have a couple more expeditionary units ready to go. So we'll keep those guys training. That is one hell of an Operation Torch going on. "12 days until the advanced small airframes. And we can get some better planes. That'd be nice. Railway is very nearly completed. And we'll get supply coming over here. Once he takes Sfax, I'll have a railway coming through here too. I'll wait until the Tripoli connection is done though. Which it now is. Okay, railway from here to here. Get it done. And now I control the supplies. I am, however, going to need some more oil. Which I will purchase from Dutch East Indies. I am running out of civilian factories. You know what? Let's cancel you. And let's build some more civvies once the railway is done. Now you guys should start moving in because we've got plenty of supply over here. We should be able to launch the offensive on Tunis pretty easily. There it is, the small advanced airframe. Lovely jubbly. And now I would like to get fuel refining, please, and thank you. So, what should these planes look like? Well, first of all, they need a bigger engine. They are cast, so we do the small bomb bay. I think I might do 2 small bomb bays, and then heavy fighter guns. So that needs to be also bombs. But they're going to be bomb locks. How about I make this machine guns, and make this the small bomb bay. And then we get extra fuel tanks for that massive range. We get self-sealing fuel tanks. It's one over. Damn it! Okay, we can't do this. It has to be... no, that was right. Can't do this. I think we have too much firepower here. Let's make these into, say, 4 light machine guns. And then... self-sealing fuel tank. There's still 2 weight under. We can add another fuel tank. I'm not convinced that we necessarily need it, though. I mean, the other thing we could do is put a defense turret on. Yeah, I care a lot less about the speed penalties than range. And then let's produce those. How much are they? 41 versus 36. They are a bit more expensive. But that's okay. Is that the model? Yes, it is. make it happen. Do I still have air forces in Greece? Yeah, but that's intended, because Greece is still trying to hold out. And they definitely need some support, and I'm happy to give them that. Don't think I have... Oh no, I do have Norway. Okay, we can move those. You in Casablanca. Help out the Americans. And we are now on the outskirts of Tunis. We're spreading our armies out a little bit more than I would like, but once we've taken these, we should be able to consolidate some more.
Let's go.
I dislike the fact that our units are not moving up, though. Can we please do that? Pretty pleased with the cherry on top. Right, you guys are moving. Let's put you there. That'll do. Ooh, cut off. I would very much like to take Tunis. Meanwhile, we have an airbase that's way closer. Are they putting up some resistance? They're trying to. They're failing. Really? I guess because my planes are improved? But man, we're shooting down like 13 and taking no losses. That does seem a bit one-sided. I haven't got that many of the aircraft techs. I do have a very good MIO though. My planes generally are just very good. Okay, so Tunis has now fallen to our forces. We should be pretty well supplied moving here, especially if we take Annaba. Are you guys ready for deployment yet? No. I'm assuming you're just waiting for guns. Yes. Okay. Annaba's fallen. Okay, and the Americans have got their shit together over on that side, so that's good. I might just move you over there and just have double the number of CAS in this region. Meanwhile, Iran seems to have slowed somewhat. Let's make you a thorough planner there, Mr. Blamey. Can now get up to 58 planning prep, which is pretty good, considering we are not Grand Battle Plan with superior firepower. Speaking of which, how are we doing for artillery? We are actually a little behind, probably from attrition. The UK? The UK? Oh, secure Iraq. Hardness for mechanized. Speaking of mechanized, I would very much like to upgrade you to the universal carriers. Please, thank you. And then I will continue the research to the Kangaroo carrier, which is the greatest named piece of military kit, except it's Canadian. Frickin' Canadians. Why would you call a Canadian APC the Kangaroo? Why? Damn it, Canada! It looks like we're having a pretty good time pushing over there. The Iran front... Oh, we've already won. This is all allied. Oh, because they flip sides. Alright, so you guys are no longer of any use over there. Maybe we send you to the Burma front then. Yeah, I think we do. We'll see if we basically can just punch through this. And the Iran aircraft. Your airbase is not going to be big enough for this potentially. Within reach. Oh, it's so tempting to do more of these, but no. We will, however, get Broken Hill Propriety Company because I do think I'm going to want A, Essington Lewis, and B, the upgraded Broken Hill. The Broken Hill Proprietary Company is one of the foremost mining and steel producers in Australia. Dubbed the Big Australian by the locals, it dominates the industry. With dramatic increase in demand for raw materials, the company is well positioned for even more rapid growth. Once you finish off in North Africa, it's probably worth switching to jungle specialization for Siam. Yeah, you're not wrong. That is a good point. Righto, onwards. I don't think Vichy has much left. Yep, the Greeks are holding. In fact, they're pushing. They've gone across the river. I lost Larissa then. Right. How are these? We are actually on time now for the construction, so let's get that going. Also, where can you see the acclimatization? It's that, isn't it? Hot acclimatization 97.8. It's because... oh yeah, they are actually... they're in their desert uniform. Do you know how I know they're in the desert uniform? It's a very subtle change. See how my hat looks now? If I go over to these Australians, they are probably not in desert uniforms. See, the hat's folded up. Their desert uniform. It's hot. So they want the shade. So they fold that bit down. See? Folded up. Slouch hat style. There you go, that's the best view. And then the desert uniform. Yes, we went to this level of detail. Full brim. You can see it better with this guy. Oh, and also the shirts are rolled up. They're wearing shorts. These guys I don't think are. Yeah, see, they've got the shirts rolled up, but not shorts. They're wearing trousers. And there is also a winter version of the Australians, which we probably would have seen in Norway. They got like great big heavy coats on. Need to add corks hanging off the brim. Yeah. And similarly, if and when we get tanks, they also have different paint jobs, depending on if they're fighting in the desert or if they're fighting in hot, temperate or cold territory. Because the Australian camo was different in North Africa than it was in Southeast Asia. Yeah, I think it's supply issues is why they're hanging back. If they have this yellow exclamation mark, it means that they are assigned to a front line, but they're staying away from it because they wouldn't have supply if they did move up. And at the moment, I don't really need the extra firepower here, so I'm kind of okay with them being careful. You guys are still on the way. You guys are still being trained. And we are 8 political power away from an independent Australia. Vaisey is very nearly an organizer. He's really adaptable. In fact, Vaisey was the right person to be using here. Crikey. I didn't even think of that. Finland and the Soviets made peace. Moscow armistice has been signed. And this is the last pocket in North Africa. Alright, let's get efficiency, cap and growth. 3 political power away. Still need to get one of these, although actually, you know what? The artillery and combat support is way more important. We still don't have that finished. I was going to say they're actually trying to put some planes up, but not really. for you to attack Algiers, because I'm relatively confident that you can take this. With your huge amount of soft... Good grief. No, planning prep, yeah, of course. And air support. Country modifier, that's going to be the non-core. And the last one will be Oran. There we go, Broken Hill is done, and drumroll please. Except I already did it. Independence! We now are an independent Australia. And that means that our available one becomes the ultimate overseas. No, it didn't. So we still have Curtin. ALP has at least 3 election wins. Oh, right, yes, the LP hasn't won that last election yet. UAP is going to be the 3rd. That's why these two are available. Yeah, 1 and 1. 1 and 1, 3, 3. So it's going to be UAP 3. Menzies is going to be the country leader, but we are not a subject, so we can't do that. Yeah, this one's going to be available when Menzies takes power. Goodbye, John Cutt. Okay, next up. Oh, there was more autonomy over here. We could do Radium Hill. Or a bit of uranium, but I don't think we necessarily need that very much. We could do the Northern Territory Reconnaissance Unit for the better recon. New Deal, which would lead to either Aboriginal affairs or immediate rights for extra monthly pop and recruitment. Rational Request would give us Singapore. At this point, that one actually does make sense. The Singapore strategy holds in theory, but in theory alone. Henry Winter and other fierce voices were right all along. Britain will most likely be occupied on its own continent if a Pacific War breaks out, and a strategy built around British aid will therefore not hold. We shall request control of Singapore so that we may ourselves be responsible for the ocean's defence. And we are going to be closing this circle now. I actually kind of wonder if I should be pulling my guys back to fight over here. You guys are actually deployed fairly thickly on that front. You are getting planning prep. Just let you get on with it. Like through... Oh, all gloss more moving. That's quite good for tanks. Taking that. Ooh, that airbase would be nice to get, although they would have no supply there. The fall of Rome. Wait, what? Oh, what? Okay. I suspect the Italian Civil War is going to start any second now. What is my contribution? 6%. So the only ones higher is the Soviet Union and the USA. Britain's by far and away done the most. And the rate of my casualties has definitely slowed a bit as well. What are we producing at the moment? Civilian factories. It's interesting that Canada actually has more industry than we do. Well, actually, as we have Algiers, getting this airbase is going to be on supply. We're an airport 1,000. Hello! Bring the rain. And also the pain. Oh, you guys are still getting into position. There's excavation 4. So that's all of those now done. Let's get the advanced artillery. Let's put the bigger boomsticks. This is my boomstick! I might actually go to the Italian front when we're done here. Let's bring in the Australian Air Force to help out. There we go. I'm genuinely surprised we're doing this much damage to their aircraft. Like, yeah, well, I guess because we do have heavy machine guns. Mussolini deposed. We're about to fall, and then Iran is the last spot. It is a port, so they are going to be getting supplied there. No fortifications, though. Repubblica Sociale Italiana fractures into the Civil War. Wait, did they just emptied Iran to defend that? 6 and 7. Well, they're going to be moving in and then immediately getting popped. But anyway, my guys are standing right at the back because supply is non-existent. So instead, I think that we should probably move over here to help out the liberation of France. And I think what I might also do is move my Air Force over here. And there we go, North Africa is entirely secured. Meanwhile, how are we doing over on this side? It's basically just us. We're waiting for these guys to arrive on the front. Bad weather penalty reduction, cool. Here we arrive. And we are still a little bit short on fuel, so let's go ahead and buy some more from Burma. As we're trying to shore you up at the moment. Took Marseille, so that's more supply, although supply here shouldn't be nearly as much of a problem. In fact, I think I'm just going to say, if you see an opportunity, it is up to you to take that opportunity. And similarly, now that you guys are starting to arrive in bigger numbers, I think it's going to be much the same there. Clear out too long. Done. And you guys have now arrived, so let's begin the push. We should be able to get plenty of air support as well. We can. I think that this is going to be a bit more of a grueling fight. But the more we just poke away at them, the better. Wooten, you are learning to be a mountaineer. You are not one yet. Enough. I could potentially get you into the fray. You know what? I think I will. Alright, so Savage is now ready to join as well. Question is, where? I guess here, and then try to push up towards Bangkok. Let's do that. Meanwhile, focus. So now we have an election in 100 days. UAP is going to win that one very handily, so I don't need to worry about that. I think it might be time for Lithgow Small Arms. Don't you? Established in 1912, the Lithgow Small Arms Factory was created to reduce reliance on British-made arms and equipment in time of war. With global tensions rising once again, we should expand production to meet the growing need of our armed forces. And to that point, we are producing a lot of different things. We have so many trucks. Although, what I wanted to do was fully motorize this, which we can afford. So we can definitely cut back on the number of trucks we're using. Let's go down to 2. Mechanized is also filling up, so I think what I want to do is grab the faceless expeditionaries, duplicate you, and then start switching some of you to mechanized infantry. 24 divisions using this template, yes. But I'm not going to switch you immediately to this template. This is a duplicate. So we'll give you the skull and tank, and we'll put you the faceless mech expeditionaries. And then as we want to upgrade some of those divisions, we can. You are currently in the place with the best supply, so I think what we'll do is we'll start moving you slowly but surely. So this is going to cost 160 mech, so we can effectively do this to 2 of you. There we are. And I think basically any factories that we get from now on just go to producing more mech. So the Japanese are still able to intercept some of my stuff. We are still neutral, even though we have got excavation of everything. So I think the next thing we do is we replace the East Brothers with Broken Hill for another 20% extraction. Britain agrees to our request. Singapore, Christmas Island and Cocos Islands are now Australian. We are now responsible for their protection. I have a Navy headquarters. I think I'm going to put John Collins inside of that. Bloody marvellous. Oh yes, change specialisation. It does cost 30. Need to prepare ourselves for the jungle that is France. And then educated industry, might as well. Nope. Philippines is being recaptured. And this is the end of Vichy France, Syria and Lebanon. There's something there. See if any of these places are near me. I'm so glad you can right click on this and it will zoom you to it. Short answer is no. Nothing in the Pacific, which is what I'm most after. Vanuatu. Not in this list. Yeah, the Pacific is Free France, not Vichy. That counts. Where's that? I want it. Kerguelen. It's mine. Kerguelen. That's all I want. Could steal the Navy. No, I can't. Too expensive. Okay, cool. Australia took 1 state, Free France took 38. Vichy was annexed. Damn right. This is now Australia. And we also got the Dunkirk. And... no, those are... that's more than just the Dunkirk there. That's their entire submarine fleet. Interesting. And then submarines, McManus seems like a good choice. Yeah, 4 sets of 7 seems reasonable. Just get yourselves repaired. You are in Sydney at the moment. Marvellous! Yeah, cool. Ethiopia wants to use my air bases. Sure. Meanwhile, you guys... I think we want to try and grab Bordeaux. Just so that the Germans can't do anything naughty with it. Hot off here. That would be nice. We can do it. We can do it. We did it. So I'm going to focus all of my efforts on the southern bit just to make sure we crush this as soon as possible. Air power, meanwhile. Air bases are all full. We'll just scatter them to the 4 winds. 9 winds, 2 winds, however many winds. Election season! UAP countdown! 90 days remaining. No need for D-Day this time, it seems. Not when you got the Aussies here, no. Good. Right, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to set up a front line over here with the objective of taking the northern coast. But I'm not going to assign anyone to it, because they'll all automatically be assigned once this is killed. Which is now. Marvellous! Speaking of D-Day, though, it has in fact happened. Right. Close air support expertise. Let's go. Level 8 MIO. That's part of the reason my air force is so strong. What are you doing in terms of... oh, that was air doctrine. Not amazing, to be honest. You only get the fighter bomber mastery from fighters and interceptors. Maybe I should develop a fighter. Insofar as it has a machine gun and then gas weapons. Wish I could compare what I had on that one. It was extra fuel tanks, self-sealing, heavy MG. Yes, it was. Haha! Okay, and then we're going to produce those as well, out of Commonwealth. And this is going to allow me to use the fighter type planes Cass with a suspicious looking mustache. Yeah, there you go. That's true. Do need to move the Cass up. Fuel refining 1 is done. Fuel refining 2. Okay. 72 days until the election. And I'm kind of glad I'm wearing a wide brim hat, because there's some serious sun coming in through my window right now. So this is what it feels... this is what it feels like to be Australian. Got it. As the demands of war push our production and logistics systems to their limits, we must centralise our efforts under a dedicated body responsible for coordinating and sustaining them. And let's see. More reliability, I think, would be good. Good-o! Oh, actually, I don't know if you guys were watching earlier, but I am actually in my full Australian uniform. Not only do I have my faux slouch hat, Huntrilla made me a t-shirt on the day that we released Thunder at Our Gates. I am so proud of this t-shirt. So proud. That's not a knife. This is a knife. See, we've got a quote of it. The German Reich caves to Hungary. Aussies, meanwhile, are pushing up quite nicely there. How are we doing in Burma? A little bit slower. You guys have arrived now, so you go ahead and start attacking. We'll bail these guys out, because that's a horrendous surround. What's up, guys? What are you doing back there? Seems a bit of a silly place to be. Pop, pop, pop. So many hats go pop. And you have actually achieved your objective? Oh, did you not? No, it's because they changed to Vietnam. Cheeky blighters! That's why we're not attacking anymore. They changed flag, which meant my orders changed because they were no longer legit. Yeah, nah, yeah, Mordred. Swedish summers are like Aussie winters. I mean, literally. Oh, that was... So again, talking about the level of detail we go to. I was checking the weather down in Australia when we added the extra strategic air zones. You need to add weather effects to them. And it turns out that Western Australia, on its own, just Western Australia, was in the Northern Hemisphere. Its winter was in December, its summer was in June. The rest of Australia was correct. Except for Western Australia. That's fixed now. No fun allowed down under. Yeah, nah, yeah. Alright, what else do we have? Experimental rockets? No. Atomic research does come with additional research speed. We never did get jets going. What the heck happened to my helicopters? Okay, they're almost done. These are 45. Oh, night vision. Let's get doing that. And are we still doing the Mechanized 3? Yeah, the kangaroos. Good. And how are we doing with mech? We have enough for the next unit. Close enough. Where actually are they? Should be on this front. There they are. Ah, right. Because you're only a piece mechanized, not the whole thing. Yeah, maybe I should be making them fully mechanized before rolling them out to everyone. Otherwise it's going to get significantly harder to actually do the final thing. Liberation of Paris! There we are. I think we might be winning. It's just a certain possibility that we're not going to lose. To be fair, Western Australia is far enough away from the rest of the country, might as well be in another hemisphere. Yeah, true. If I was to get a flight from my home in Adelaide, it would take about the same amount of time to fly to Auckland as it would fly to Perth. Interesting. Fleet and being screens, that is the final upgrade. The rest, meanwhile, has been almost taken. Alright, so I think next stop, Berlin. Let's close this bit up. And then maybe when we get there, we'll drop a staff office plan just to let you get some more planning prep. Meanwhile, how are you guys doing? It's actually okay. You're about to link up, actually. Nice. You go ahead and help out with that.
Ready, boss.
Because between the two of you, you should be able to make that. And there we go, the southern front has now linked up with the northern, so I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and draw that line northwards and continue the offensive. You guys have arrived in that front meanwhile. Let's go ahead and staff office plan you real quick so you can get up to your 56 planning prep. And the Germans will not know before we send you off properly. Should make sure that we have our air force properly aligned, arranged. Let's actually move half of them into here. We're just deleting these units, good grief. Just straight up dead. The sheer amount of firepower that we're bringing to bear now is kind of terrifying. I still really need to get one of these. 100 political power, we're getting a chief of army. Oh, good grief, the Soviets. The race truly is on for Berlin. Right, we can get defense and speed, breakthrough, or piercing and hard attack. Or All Australian Drive. Production efficiency cap plus 10% for mechanised. Don't mind if I do. This is also reliability and production output for mechanised. So we should try to get that one as well. Did I actually fix that? That was... I must have... Yes, I did. There was an issue with All Australian Drive because I hadn't done this before. This is a new thing. But you can only do All Australian Drive once you've done one of these three. Like, it's not connected because it didn't really fit underneath. But having it here on the side, in the tooltip, it says you must have completed either all-wheel drive, armoured pulpit, or bulletproof panels, and then you can do that. Meanwhile, you've leveled up to level 5. Well done, Vasey. You've leveled up also to level 5. And you are still not a specialist. Right, because I kind of want you to get... Well, I don't think you're ever going to get Fortress Buster. Because for that you would need Engineer. Engineering! You're not going to get that either. Not enough fighting over forts or rivers. Why are you not attacking?
Ready, boss.
Oh, Maginot. Now you might get Engineer. Well, this is an opportunity for the Air Force to do their thing. Hephalopters! Marvellous! We have a bunch of research to do before the helicopters, but we might as well queue up some Hephalopter production. Something like that. Capital Fleet. Capstone's done. Yeah, the only reason we're doing any damage to these units in the fort is the Air Force. Do I have any aircraft scattered around not really doing anything? Not really. Bomb to supply and development is done. Land warfare facility in New South Wales. I don't think I particularly need it. Production cost for Lee Enfields. Owen gun gets more attack. Let's get diggers. Dig, dig, dig until you're safe, came the order from General William Birdwood when the Anzacs landed at Gallipoli. Words that became synonymous with the Australian way of war. Yet the spirit of the digger runs deeper, binding Australian and New Zealand soldiers through mateship, the enduring bond of fighting alongside and for one's comrades.
Good to go.
The OAP have won. The votes are counted. The United Australia Party has won the election. And then with that, we should be able to get inevitably independent. Which will give us... Oh, right. We do lose some of our non-core territory attack, unfortunately. Streamline line is done. We can get excavation 5. There was something else I wanted to research, though. Right, helicopters. We definitely want the medivacs. Go. These two have just met, so the northern and southern attack. I think that the Soviets might well make it to Berlin before we do. Mulhouse should fall. The Militar Polizei. All of Budapest. Yeah, they're on the outskirts of Berlin.
Ready, boss.
Meanwhile, what's going on over here? A huge map. Fall of Berlin. A Soviet communique has announced the capitulation of all German forces in Berlin. After encircling the city, the Russians stormed it from several different directions, with the German defenders resisting furiously along the way. Daisy, are you getting engineer? 16%, yes you are. You do have an air base right there, you're not wrong. Let's move half of you into this. Some of you should be fighting here. And the other thing I should probably do is deploy my fighters. Sorry, my definitely not fighters. The cast with the weird mustache. Looks like this is going to fall. You did. Now into the Siegfried line. But the Siegfried line is a mere shadow compared to Manchester. Research slot available. Let's get helicopter recon and radar. Let's go. The next attack is Strasbourg, where the mechanized are now showing their resilience. Diggers. Now you're ready for this? No worries. That's not a knife. This is a knife. A bit of bravado and humour goes a long way. Our soldiers face danger with confidence, grit, and no shortage of swagger. 10% more organisation, 5% more attack strength. Lovely jubbly. How's the air doctrine doing? Still haven't finished that. Right, we still haven't got an artillery sub to doctrine. I think it's because these battles are just finishing so quickly thanks to the overwhelming air power. And it still makes me laugh. The Germans are still like outside of Smolensk. They haven't quite realised they've lost yet. Actually, we are getting a couple of aces now. That's nice. How are you guys doing? Struggling a bit. Because of supply, but you're right outside of Bangkok now, so not much longer left. And your front lines are a bit long. Hubert Pirlo invites us to a uranium development trust. Hubert Pirlo, leader of Belgium, has approached us with an interesting offer. They wish for us to join the Uranium Development Trust and share nuclear materials and research with each other. It could potentially leak information more easily, but it might very well be worth it for the uranium that we so desperately need. I mean, I too am a uranium producer, so finding out what the competition is doing sounds like it might be a good idea. That probably stacks. Where is it? Yeah, that stacks. Although this one only really gives you the nuclear research special project speed, whereas this gives you facility construction and reactor construction. So we would have 20% faster nuclear research. See, that's the thing with D&D. Dwarves' voices should be Australian accents and not Scottish because of us being diggers. For some reason I make halflings Australian. It just kind of fits that halfling swagger. Although, yes, they probably should be New Zealand, not Australian. I find it difficult to do New Zealand versus Australian accents. Like, the only real difference I know is myth. Myth for Australians and muff for New Zealanders. feel like halfling should have a rural English accent. Yeah, I could also see them being like Bristol or Bath. No, Bristol. Alright, I feel like I need to A, give you supply, B, have you go towards Bangkok. Turkey has joined the Allies. Maybe you go north. You guys push in for Bangkok. Bangkok's actually kind of well guarded. The Royal Thai Division. Well, just means we need to attack it from multiple angles, so let's get that prepared. Let's reduce your front line. Oh, Germany's got to be nearly dead, surely. You guys no longer have an order. Well, let's put you here. Go in for this. Off you go. Resuppliers on cooldown. Disappointed! Now they're counter-attacking. Do we not have air cover here? No, we do. Oh, it's coming a long way. We're at the very edge of what we can actually cover. There's no base here. That'll do. Let's double down on just air power here. Oh my gosh, we are so close. We are so close. Oh, you've been pushed back. That's not ideal. Hopefully you'll get there to resist and push them back. Yeah, you should be able to. Get pushed back. Yes. Ivan Mackay has been freed. We got Hamburg back. But that is the fall of Germany and Italy. I don't think any of them have anything around here that I particularly want. We'll leave Poland their ships. I'll steal Romania's though. I think that's about all I've got, so I'm just going to give the rest of my points to England and then call it good. Soviet Union took 11 states, Belgium took 1, Netherlands took 1, British Italy took 1, Radikalna Yugoslavia took 5, Britain took 4. British occupation zone, Soviet occupation zone, Soviet Czechoslovakia, Polish Soviet Socialist Republic, Romanian People's Republic, British Albania, Soviet Albania, Legionnaire Bulgaria, Soviet Hungary were all puppeted. Democratic Party, the MSZDP, has been put in charge of the Hungarian Federal Republic. Austria, Transylvania, and Orsa were all liberated. Yeah, and Italy is now British Italy. Insofar as peace treaties go, that's not terrible. Balkanized Albania. Yeah, of all the places to balkanize, Albania is the one. And now we have the war against CoPro. So it's time for Vasey to get over here. Get over here! We're suddenly going to have a massive influx of troops. Supply here is going to be absolutely hideous. In, out, in, out. You know what? You guys stop attacking. You lot, because there's so many different divisions up there, stop. And instead, we're going to do what we did against Tunis. We're just going to straight up invade Bangkok.
Boss.
Treaty of Craiova. Right, how are we doing in terms of mechanized? It's okay. What I'm thinking right now is what would it cost to make these mechanized? We'll be 228 short, so we need 480. Okay. Meanwhile, 150 political power. We're still doing okay on manpower, considering we're on extensive conscription. That's pretty cool. But what I'm really after here is Broken Hill Proprietary Company. Which also comes with a 15% excavation tech research speed. Oops. If I wasn't going independent, I think we would have gotten that a lot earlier. And then with that, we should... Nope, we are still net importers. Meanwhile, another research slot available. Pia? V December 43. Yeah, it's been a fun game. I've enjoyed this one. Especially now that I know the logistics companies, sorry, the logistics headquarters increasing the army size by 2 on expeditionaries is really nice. Well, there we go, we've got no worries. It's getting really warm in this room. Whew, wearing a hat is what does it. The Fatherland Front takes over Bulgaria. Socialist Republic of Bulgaria took 5 states, Soviet Union took 1. Meanwhile, no worries, has been completed. And that is the entire Anzac Path. Dingo Scout Car. I totally forgot that gives you military factories, so does this. Yeah, let's do Dingo. Australia does not have a strong tradition of armoured vehicle development, but our armed forces are increasingly calling for reinforcement in this area. As such, we should more rigorously adopt homegrown designs such as the Dingo Scout Car.
Good to go.
So I suspect that tank or mech Australia would also be really quite strong.
Boys, listen up.
Fuel refining 2. Let's go 3. Meanwhile, my fuel is now actually full, so I can probably reduce what I'm purchasing. And we're at 15 factories again. I think I still want to have a couple more. I do have space for them. Let's put it there, there and there. So that I can continue importing if I need to. There is a serious battle going on for the Philippines. Ooh. Guys getting a bit beaten up there. They've actually got an Air Force here. I can get a tiny bit closer. Actually, can get a lot closer. Well, one of you. Hang on, do we have any definitely fighters? Sorry, definitely not fighters. No, they've all been deployed. That one. Right, we should have a bunch of aircraft over here now, which we don't need. Marvellous! How the heck do we use these to their best ability? You know what? I think it is time to do this. And just let them automate to wherever the troops are that they're supporting. And then they'll automatically move to air bases too. Strange name for an armoured car, calling the armoured car a dingo. More so than calling a APC a kangaroo. Helicopter recon. Sweet. Can we upgrade these anymore? Yes, we could. Let's do that. Alright, so if I wanted to add helicopter recon to these units, it would increase defense, breakthrough, reduction in soft attack, increase hard attack, big increase to recon. And it has the same modifier of giving soft attack, then movement buffs in a multitude of different places. Big question though is, do I have enough? Oh yeah, loads. I might even be able to add them to these. No. Not yet. There's the scout car. And then I think we'll just go on to the New South Wales Government Railways. The New South Wales Government Railway workshops provide a unique capability. Large steel components cast in a single piece. As one of the few Commonwealth nations able to produce fully cast tank hulls and turrets, we should put this capacity to good use. And this is very true. Outside of Britain, Australia was the only one that could do that. So the others had to do welded or riveted, but Australia could make cast. Naval invasion? Do we have the... Oh, you guys are still arriving. Never mind. I need to let you walk up. Where? Dare I ask you to? Gosh. I'm not going to be getting any reinforcements for a while then. Now I remember what I was going to research. Naval invasion techs. And there's the carrier, kangaroo carrier. So we'll switch that to those. And we'll just start producing those en masse. This is going to cost me a bunch more steel. New Zealand is failing in selling me enough steel. And we're at the stage of the game where steel has now run out. So this is where I really do need to start getting Kemmler and Iron Knob and Essington. Where is he? Another 15% resource gain efficiency. So what exactly is the problem here? Just lack of naval? Yeah, I think so. Well, I have a solution to this particular problem. Speaking of which... Right, I never gave you the proper template. Now I have. Research slot. And I was going to research naval invasion. Except I can never bloody remember where they are, because I research them so infrequently. Which is weird, considering I'm the Navy guy. But that, just because I have a Navy doesn't mean I like doing naval invasions. Fine, I'll get Marines as well. I must. Who dis? Ford Australia. Armoured cars. Production efficiency cap sounds good to me. Right, I guess these guys need to patrol here. There are some Japanese, no, Thai, Siamese ships. New South Wales government railway is done. We can get the Sentinel tank, but I kind of feel like I should probably hold off on that until I actually research Sentinel tanks. Although if I do this, then I can go straight into Australian Regular Army, and I might as well. Historically, we've relied on imported tank designs, even when producing them domestically. We should build on the lessons learned from those machines and, with a measure of Australian innovation, develop our own tank, one tailored to our capabilities and resources. So have this, which is the New South Wales Government Railways. Oh wow, yes, you can get a lot of production output. And a lot of extra armour. It's actually a really good MIO as well. Yeah, Mordred, in your opinion, would Japan still invade Indonesia if it was independent and open up its markets to Japan? How impactful was Japan's ideological religious urge to fight a war against the entire Asian continent compared to Japan's material need for Indonesian resources? No, I think that had America not embargoed Japan and had Indonesia continued trading with Japan, I suspect that they would not have gone south. And I don't think they would have gone after the USA either. They would have had the resources to continue the war in China and would have been focused on that. Interesting question though, like what do the rest of you think about that one? That's the kind of what if alt history type discussions we have all the time on the Hoi team. You guys are being pushed back, I don't like this. Oh! Because you succeeded! Yeah, you did. We have Bangkok. Okay. In that case, push out. You know what? Let's have the reds. That's yellow. Wait, that was in fact red. Red over on that side. Yellow on that side. And then the reds can push north to connect with you lot. Go. Naval invasion, I didn't even notice. Let's get the breakthrough so that we can move towards the other mechanized upgrade. Nice hat, thank you, Vimy. What happens when a Viking guitarist writes a song? He becomes an 11-minute revenge. Her honour and fling her cap. I don't get what you're saying there, KT, sorry. Mordred, we read that one already. Agree with you. I just found it interesting in my Hoi game. If Free Indonesia Japan still went after me. Were you still trading with them? I mean, I don't know how it's scripted. I didn't work on Japan. I suspect for Hoi balance reasons they're still made to go south. Politically, I can't stand. The Man is a really good alternate history series that when you read it, you realise that the US is basically the reason why Pearl Harbor happened. I don't think that the US prevented it. I don't think they caused it, but I also don't think they helped in its prevention. Oh, and also there is in fact an airbase down here, which I would love. Oh, it's full already. Grrr! Oh, you guys automatically move. Don't touch that stuff. It's set up perfectly. Right, and my ships, which are currently... we did the thing. Patrolling over here and wasting a ton of fuel. Does not need to be doing that. Meanwhile, Japan is still doing quite well against China. Probably because the Soviets aren't fighting them yet, although Japan may have some problems of their own. That might be why this has basically collapsed. Plus, you know, taking the capital will have helped matters there. So, Thailand is halfway to capitulation, Japan is halfway to capitulation. Once those two are done, all of those are done. Oh, I never saw what my final casualty rate was. There's the PIAT done. Moved infantry equipment, might as well. Put that on the wrong company though. I should make that Lithgow, not Lysact. Interesting that Lysact got more funding this game. That doesn't usually happen. Usually Lithgow just runs away with it. Although I guess I haven't actually been producing that many guns. Because my army for a long time has been quite small. Speaking of which, I think it is now time to go helicopter recon. Yes, we have 4 spare. Ah! Should have gone helicopter medevac. Would have been smarter. Never mind. Faceless mech, you could do... Yeah. Helicopter medevac. Trickle back, plus 9%. Experience lost, we lose some of it, but that's honestly not my problem. This primarily helps the trickle back. And are we in a position now to go full mech? I think we are. Yes, we are. Can we go full mech? Good enough. Now... There we go. Kangaroo APCs, baby! There you go. There's the Kangaroo APC. Yes, it's basically a Sherman hull with the turret turned off, torn off, and then chairs put in the back. But that's what the Kangaroo was. Guys up here, I think we can have you spread out a bit. So hopefully you see that you have some more opportunities to spark off an offensive. In fact, let's have you go down to here and you go down to there. Fall of Tokyo! With that, Japan is gone, so now we just need to take out Siam. Which I am working on. How are you still alive? Because that's Luang. Even is your capital. Oh, it's there. Get going! We got this. We got this. And this is a 21 victory point. Crikey. Crikey! Look at the amount of victory points this one has. Have you ever seen so many victory points in one place? Because I know I haven't. One of the channels I stumbled across when I was doing research for Australia, in fact it wasn't even research, just a random video that came up on my YouTube, was basically Steve Irwin, but he's a plumber. So he has exactly the same way of speaking, that same level of excitement, except he's a plumber. And like he goes around just doing, yeah, Drain Cleaning Australia, exactly that one. It's a fantastic channel, I love it. He's so excited about just plumbing. It's brilliant. If you want to find a link for that one, Carney, to post it up, I am happy to support him. Because, wow, that's good watching. Alright, time to get the railway foundry capacity so we can get production output and efficiency gain. Sounds good to me. And then another political thing. So we can get the Australian Regular Army now, which comes with another 2.5 organisation. Hey, remember adding that. Sweet, let's do it. We have learned many lessons, from the beaches of Gallipoli to the deserts of North Africa and the mountains of Greece. Sorry, let me start this one again. We have learned many lessons, from the beaches of Gallipoli to the mountains of North Africa, the mountains of Greece. Nope, got that one wrong again. We've learned many lessons, from the beaches of Gallipoli to the deserts of North Africa, the mountains of Greece and Norway, and the jungles of Southeast Asia. This hard-earned experience has forged a military that is more flexible and adaptable than any other. And I really, really, really need one of these, so I'm going to put Blaney in charge so I can actually start generating some army experience. Get the goddamn artillery support! I still don't have it! 1944 May, and I still don't have a sub-doctrine. Turn on the bloody jet! And then the music starts. Oh, brilliant. I need to watch that again. Hey, Warbird. Robert Irwin is the best reference for Steve Irwin, as he looks and sounds just like his dad. Oh, does he really? That's awesome. Okay, next up we can get medium machine gun production. This is Lithgow. Or we could do piercing and hard attack, or soft attack and breakthrough. You know what? Soft attack and breakthrough. We seem to be specialising in that. They're 280 soft attack now. Oh, Thailand is still not dead. Chiang Mai is only a 1. You're at 98% capitulation, because of course they freaking are. Pangs up there, Lampfund's down there. Like, how is your war support so high? It just is. Oh, you have a weekly change, plus 0.3. Huh. I wonder if that's intended. I don't usually make weekly changes which are permanent. Because it's very strong. Marines! We'll continue researching more of those. Although at this point, I mean, we really are just switching over to the faceless mech units. How are we doing for mech? We are very short in fact. There we go, Chiang Mai has fallen. There it is! Copro has fallen. And I basically want... yes, I want those. But Southeast Asia kind of feels like it's legitimately mine, so I'm going to take it. We'll start with that. Making me pay for this! But I want it. It's mine. Okay, give... No, I do want that one. Damn it. These are clearly mine. I have a huge amount of participation. Okay, we got Bangkok. Now it's just the USA wanting the islands. Oh, sod off, America! Really? Now America's just being annoying. Oh, and it has rubber. Not rubber. That's clearly aluminium. Fine. God damn Americans. Treaty of Brussels, with the immediate global threat dealt with and the tenuous arrangements between the Soviet Union and the Western Allies, begun to deteriorate. Fearing an irrevocable breakdown in communications combined with the opposing ambitions in Europe, as evidenced by the recent developments in East Germany, France has proposed a treaty of mutual assistance during a hurried conference in Brussels. Yes, we will sign that. The United States took 4 states, China took 25, Chinese Soviet Republic 4, Philippines 3, Australia 6. Japan was puppeted. Minnesota in the state of Japan. Kana Rastodon Civilian in Thailand. Kan Lao in Republic of Vietnam. Democratic Party in Cambodia. Democratic Party in Laos. Korea was liberated. The Federated States of Micronesia was liberated. And Taiwan was liberated. Alright. This is clearly in my sphere of influence now, America. Grrr! Actually, it's in the same sea zone as the Philippines, but still! Grrr! All of that fighting, and we took like this in a couple of islands. That's it. Fine. Meanwhile, we actually have rubber now, thanks to our new Southeast Asian territories. And steel. I need a lot more of. I'm not buy American. Brussels Treaty has been signed in a move that reminds the world that the worst is not yet behind us. Several of the former Allied powers announced the signing of a new Treaty of Brussels today. Although ostensibly intended as a treaty of mutual civil and military cooperation, few are left in any doubt as to the message this sends to the leaders and allies of the Soviet Union. Several states caught in the midst of this geopolitical tension have taken the opportunity to declare a principle of formal neutrality. Oh, a bunch of people left. But I'm guessing that's then basically NATO. And that is how the world looks at the end of the war. That's it, we did it. Game over, man. Game over. That was fun. I enjoyed that. 18th of June, 1944. So basically 12 days after D-Day. And thus Australia has saved the world. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, Mexico left NATO. Huh. Yugoslavia did. Greece did. All of that fighting. Damn it, Greece. I mean, Allies versus Comintern could be interesting. I don't know how badly the Soviets were beaten up in that war. War supports 46. But I think that's a pretty good conclusion, honestly. It was actually a quick campaign. Yeah. I think stopping the Germans in Norway and getting those encirclements in Norway and Greece No, Greece didn't get any encirclements. Greece just held. But Norway was a pretty big deal, I think. It considerably weakened them. And then North Africa. I think that without our naval invasion of Tobruk, the Allies probably wouldn't have taken it. And similarly with Bangkok, actually. Although it was the British invasion of Sicily and then later on Italy, which I think won us that war. But that was probably because all of their units were trapped in Tobruk. So I helped. Not sure if you can answer this, but what's the favourite nation you've worked on so far? So between Belgium and the Philippines, I would definitely have said Belgium. I think it did a good job with the Philippines, but it's difficult to make them really interesting considering they don't join the war until December 41. Belgium at least has that kind of constant rising tension, which I do think went quite well. I do like Australia though. Like, I don't want to blow my own trumpet too much, but I think the expeditionary leaders really sell the fantasy of like small super hardcore units of Australians that can make a distinct difference but on a small scale is done really well. I think I do need to tone down the Air Force a bit. I think that is overtuned. I'd be really interested to see what the multiplayer community thinks about expeditionary leaders. Whether they allow them, whether they just ban them, I don't know. I probably do need to tone down the non-core attack and defense a bit. But otherwise, I don't think the balance is that crazy. I think really the thing that I've overscoped is the Air Force. I think I need to scale that back a bit. They're supposed to have a big Air Force, not a good one. So I think for the Air Corps stuff, keeping stuff like these is totally fine. Empire Air Training Scheme, I think, is fine. But then stuff like this one really needs to be scaled back. 15 air mission efficiency and 15 superiority and support. That's basically 30%. Because air mission stacks with those. So yeah, I've overclocked this. I've overtuned it. I realise that. I think the Navy is okay. I don't think it's particularly strong, but neither is it particularly weak. Abdicom has a significant, well not significant, but it has a fairly hefty rework coming next week. In the patch. Not rework, it's just being made more accessible. Like, the established Abdicom is no longer only a major country thing. Australia and the Netherlands can now do it. So an Australian player can actually start this. Remember, I did only take 4 out of 14 focuses. Yeah, true. So part of that might be MIOs, but I have thought for a while that the air MIOs are overtuned. They could do with a bit of toning back. That's a much bigger project. Much, much bigger. Like, we're talking probably 2 or 3 weeks worth. If not more. But I think the industry is good. It's short and sweet. Populator Parish is interesting. If I hadn't gone helicopters, I would have gotten the Northern Territory reconnaissance units. If I needed manpower more, I mean, yes, I have 0 right now. But also, thanks to the expeditionary units, you're not that manpower hungry. Although some of the games I've been watching other people do, like Kurtu Games, I was watching his earlier, and he was having like full stacks of 24 men. So I can only imagine what manpower law he was on. What else? I actually think that the army tree is in a really good place. This was the first one that I completed, so it's definitely the most well balanced. This was the last one I completed, which is probably why it's the least. And Abdicom. Abdicom came in quite late. And communism. Punchrular did fascist and democratic. I did the communists. And I really do want to show off the communist content. I might do that one tomorrow. Because I think that their industry is really unique. I don't think any other country is going to play in a similar way. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. Good game. GG. Oh yeah, I even had the theatre here. Totally forgot about that. I established it and I was like, oh yeah, there's a theatre. Can I assign myself to my theatre yet? Nope. So where's the other one right now? Still in North Africa. Fantastic. South Africa established one. Huh. Do you guys get experience? Yes. Yes, you do. Absolutely you do. I hadn't deployed him except as a theatre commander, so I think he gets a portion of the experience of of all of the experience gained in that area. And then skill level determines how many areas it can be assigned to. Cool. I haven't played with theatres that much. Anyway, I think that's it for this one. I think it's definitely too late to start the next game. I think I'd rather do that fresh tomorrow. So yeah. Hearts of Iron 4, Thunder at Our Gates. It's available now. Go get it. Players Australia, let me know what you think of it. Very much looking forward to seeing some more comments and feedback and stuff like that coming in. And work will continue on Monday. Cool. So, thanks everyone for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, be sure to hit that follow button to get notifications when I'm live again in the future. If you've really enjoyed this and you want to support the channel, then please do consider subscribing. Helps the channel out, lets me do more of this kind of content. You can, of course, check out the Patreon at patreon.com/MordredViking. I do have a Discord, which is where the community hangs out. You can find that over here. And if you're on the uptubs, you can find that in the Discord below. I will be back again tomorrow, 12 PM Central European Time, where I think, I know we'll play some more Australia. Whether we do fascist or communist, I don't know yet. Let's see how I feel tomorrow. But it's definitely going to be some more Australia. I'm slightly biased, although at some point I should really do Dutch East Indies and Siam. I will do those in the future. But thanks everyone for watching. I will see you next time. Until then, bye bye everyone.